GamerSpawn.
My name is Brant Nicholas, executive producer for Beanox, here to show at Gamescom Spider-Man Edge of Time. So basically, in previous installments, we've actually had a lot of Spider-Man, each in parallel universes, doing different things. One of the pieces of feedback we got from our fans was they wanted a deep story between two Spider-Man, just going into depth of who Spidey is. For Spider-Man Edge of Time, what we've done is we worked with Peter David, who's the co-creator of Spider-Man 2099, that Marvel universe. He actually worked with Gerard Liani, our creative director, to create a timeline where basically a mad scientist from the future, played by Val Kilmer, has gone to the past and actually recreated the entire universe to fit his own evil schemes, to destroy Stark Industries, but also especially because he's got a personal vendetta against the Amazing Spider-Man, which we haven't really revealed why he hates Spider-Man so much, but it comes out later in the story what the real answer is as you peel away the layers. So in the game, you've got this evil scientist who's gone to the past, and he's using Anti-Venom, who's kind of his hero now. He's Eddie Brock, and he and Peter Parker are friends. He's actually reformed. So suddenly you've got Anti-Venom, who's Peter's friend, who's under control of this scientist, and Peter wants to help him. So he's kind of like, Eddie, come on, you can fight it, man, you can fight it. He's like, no, it's too strong. So they're constantly going back and forth. Peter knows his friend's in trouble, but at the same time, he can't just abandon him. Spider-Man 2099 contacts him and says, hey, dude, I found out you're gonna die. If you keep following him, you're going to your death. You've got to pull out of this. And Peter, just who Amazing Spider-Man is, he will never abandon his friends, no matter what. Even if it means his own life. He's gonna try to help Eddie. He's gonna try to save the people that are inside Alchemax, no matter what it takes. So he knows he's rushing to his own death, but at the same time, he's never going to leave the people he loves to themselves. So, it's constant battle between, I know I'm going to die, but even if you know your fate, can you truly avoid it? And that's kind of where the story begins.
This is the only way it could have ended. Who will save you now?
So the game is constantly changing between the two timelines. You play both Spider-Man 2099 and The Amazing Spider-Man. Each one's completely different. Spider-Man 2099 has a lot of melee, up-close attacks, fast hand-to-hand attacks, very brutal, very feral. He also has a power called Accelerated Decoy, where he can send out basically projections of his suit to use as distractions to the enemies. He can use it offensively to help him in combat once you've upgraded it enough. And also it can be used for puzzle solving in the game, using missiles to destroy barriers, opening doorways, and finding secret hidden content. In the inverse, sometimes you switch to the past and you're playing Amazing Spider-Man. His powers are very over-the-top, very web effects, so huge web hammers, web bats. You're knocking people all over the place, getting enemies and encasing them in webbing. Just fun things like that. So it's a very different experience. Amazing Spider-Man is medium to long-range combat. So every time you switch, it's fresh gameplay. And one of the things we just revealed in a trailer that we just released recently is that the two Spider-Men do switch times at one point. And so then it's completely fresh again because everything's just turned upside down. But with the two Spider-Men now in opposite timelines, the damage and the terror to the timelines becomes even worse. One of the things that we have here on show today is in one of the gameplay sections that you play as Spider-Man 2099, you use a combination of your Accelerated Decoy that I mentioned a moment ago, together with, there's a missile turret. The missile turret launches a missile and chases you. You lead that missile towards a locked entrance and you activate your decoy. You dodge aside, the missile goes for the decoy, hits the lock, unlocks the door. So it's that kind of puzzle-based gameplay that we're introducing with this game that we've never actually done before. One of the things is as you're playing through the game, and this is unique to Spider-Man Edge of Time, there are constant tears and rifts that happen between the two. We call it cause and effect gameplay, where something that's happening in the past immediately changes the future. So as you're diving through one of these tunnels, in fact in the demo that we have here today, the tunnel itself changes in front of you as you're falling, where suddenly new barriers appear, new objects change, things move. So you have to be constantly on your toes or literally on your wings, because you're falling at the speed of sound. You better be ready, because effectively it's just changing on the fly. But yeah, as you're fighting and you defeat enemies of different difficulty levels, they release blue and red spheres. Those are basically, the red are health. So as you collect them, it kind of heals you a little bit. And the blue is chronal energy. You store that up over time and you can use that to unlock powers. So in the game, there are 3 skill trees. There's a skill tree for an Amazing Spider-Man, there's a skill tree for Spider-Man 2099, and there's a shared skill tree. Each one has unique upgrades, unique abilities. So let's say, for example, you're using web shot, which is your ability to kind of shoot these balls of webs to bind and hold enemies. The base level, it's a single shot. You upgrade it, you can get the ability to send, a cone, a rapid fire cone in an area in front of you. You upgrade it again using the chronal energy, the XP, and you can actually send out a web torpedo, which goes out, hits the enemies, knocks them back, sticks them to the wall, hits a whole area. So you actually spend that XP to upgrade your attacks, buy new ones. Personal favorite is the web hammer. So I just love having this huge hammer that I can take back and slam onto the enemies in front of me. Well, one of the things is that working for Beanox is one of the greatest jobs in the world because we're the biggest fanboys for Spidey. So as we're working on the games, we're creating tons of concept art, tons of skins, extra content, in-game figurines, and we actually took all of it and packed it into the game. So as you're playing, there's all sorts of secret hidden computers and systems that you can access. If you can solve the puzzles and if you can find out how to get to them, we've included a ton of extra skins for your characters, all sorts of different versions of the Spideys for both $20.99 and for Amazing. And we challenge anyone out there to see if they can get it all. Release date is 4th of October in the US, 14 October in Europe. Platforms are PS3, 360, Wii, 3DS, and DS.